Instagram. Hi, Facebook. How are you guys doing? Today, I'm going to be talking about, does he have the capacity to show up in a relationship? So the bottom line is he relationship ready? And this can go in reverse as well. This can go for men, for women. Um, so why this is so important, perhaps you've gotten yourself into situations where you've dated someone and things start off really good. Everything seems to be falling into place, and then the next thing you know, it's everything starts unraveling, or the relationship starts unraveling, and he's not showing up as much, or all of a sudden he's not following through with his word. I speak with many women, and they talk about how things can start off so great, and then all of the sudden he's not showing up when he says he's going to, not calling when he says he's going to, and plans that they've talked about making or even made aren't actually happening. This is really common, especially with someone that that might want a relationship but may not have the capacity to do it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a place in your life where intellectually you thought, gosh, I would really love to share, be in a relationship, but yet your actions were showing otherwise? Or once you started getting involved, you realized that you didn't really have the capacity for whatever reason. Maybe you had gotten out of a tough breakup or a divorce, or there can be a variety of things that happen. My name's Cindy Olin. I'm a love and relationship expert. I support women around connecting with themselves, empowering themselves, using their voice, and creating the kind of relationship that resonates within them. I don't feel that any two people have the same type of relationship. That said, diving deeper into capacity. One of the biggest struggles, and is, men do the same thing. The women do this a lot because I work with women, and they'll go, gosh, I met this great guy and he's going through a divorce, and I'm keeping him in my rotation as I'm dating other people to meet the one. If the pattern is to connect with unavailable people, the reason why you're connecting with unavailable people, and hear me out, is because there's something you're hiding. There's something you're afraid to show. It may even have to do with your deep down, you're afraid that he's not going to accept you once he sees all of you, or that nobody will. So if you can get that out of the way and learn how to date authentically through your values, and you might meet someone who's really amazing, and it can take time to figure out if somebody has the capacity. It's the same thing around, I talk to women, and they'll tell me, gosh, Cindy, we had such an amazing weekend. We got so close, and I'm wanting it to continue to move forward, and he pulled back. Well, men can do that when they feel a lot of emotion, and then they might, ease back into life and come back to you. Or they can get to a point and they think they're taking commitment seriously. So they look at, gosh, I don't know if I can really show up in a way that is going to fully make her happy and in a way that she deserves. And that's what a good guy would do. And there are many, many good guys out there. I was talking to a woman that I know, and she was telling me how, I mean, her situation, she's a single mother, and a lot of her time's tied up with her child and her work. And something that she shared, she said, gosh, it seems like a lot of the men that I attract, they want me to have more freedom. And the thing is that there's a disconnect there. And then there's a choice to believe that that's all that the men want. They just want somebody to go to Vegas with or something like that. But truth be told, if you're aligned with where you're at, you can communicate that in a way that is like, hey, here's my life. This is what it's like. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm available to do a few times a year. Take it or leave it if you want to get to know me. And I think part of what can break somebody's heart is if they go in too fast and they don't, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have the capacity to really show up, which creates inauthenticity because it's like, it's almost like a boomerang or ripple effect, because what can happen is the woman, a lot of times women do this, is we think, okay, I know I can make this work. I really like him. I know he likes me. We have a lot of great things. And it goes into shoving that square peg, round hole, right? So, and I talk about this a lot, but this piece is really important. If somebody doesn't have the capacity, they don't have the capacity. And it's up to you to really look at why we move a little bit slower. Is it exciting to move faster? Sure, it feels good. It feels good in the moment. It's a short-term fix. It's like me grabbing a chocolate cake, but knowing that it's not really in alignment with my health values. Although I could eat a couple of dark chocolate almonds and get the fix, as long as, So what I'm trying to tell you is we also live in a society, and we've been conditioned to believe that we want what we want when we want it. And if somebody doesn't have the capacity, ladies, that's not about you. It's truly about them. It's truly about where they're at. This is a blessing to see before you get too deeply involved and your heart hurts or your heart ends up breaking. Because if they can't, rise to that place where you think you want to go, what's going to happen? You're going to start to sink down in your light, your vibrational level. You're inevitably going to start to do things that don't feel authentic to you. And then you're settling. And what the brain tells us is, I don't want to go back out there and date. There's no good guys. It's negative, negative, negative. So back to that person I was sharing with you about, she's amazing. What I heard is, all the men are like this. This is what I'm experiencing. However, if we simply change our mindset into, I know that I'm in this place. I know that I'm, a single mother. I have a young child. I'm raising him on my own. I'm pretty darn sure that somebody else is going to love that. Pretty sure. It's, God doesn't make us or have created situations by mistake. Our mistake is thinking that I need to grab onto this for fear of my life that this is the last person. And that's why, especially for women, this doesn't apply to men. When you start getting intimate with a man, your brain goes crazy. Your brain starts to convince yourself of something that's not really true because you've got all that oxytocin going. That's why it's important to wait to get intimate. And it's important to give a man space to see if he has the capacity. Not convincing yourself otherwise. Our brains can easily go to the negative. Oh, he didn't call me for a few days. He ghosted me. He didn't do this. However, let's look at, instead of looking at the little tiny speck of black dot that is not going well, look at all the white space that's great in your life. And how can you shift that? Are you ready to shift that? Sometimes it can be hard to tell if someone has capacity. And hold on, somebody's trying to call my computer. Sorry, you guys. Hi, Kate. Hi, you guys. And, capacity is really important because our capacity can actually grow as we're growing in relationship, and it's meant to be that way. There are some people that, are more relationship people. And as women, we tend to be better communicators. However, we've also been conditioned to not use our voice or speak our truth, or only do it when we're frustrated. How many times have you had 10 things add up and you're not saying anything, you're playing it cool, you're being the nice girl he's dating, or the great girlfriend, and then all of a sudden he looks at you wrong and you blow a gasket? I've done it. The thing is if you're letting the air out of the tires regularly, you're actually opening yourself up to create connected communication. And you might be going, yeah, but Cindy, I don't want to complain to him all the time. This is not about complaining. It's about communicating in a respect of getting clarification. Hey, I noticed this. What I make it mean to me is X. What do you think? When taking it slow, even if it's, he likes you, you like him, I cannot tell you how many men I've spoken to that have said, gosh, I really wanted to move forward with her. I thought she was great. And what I realized is after we went on a few dates, I kissed her, which was amazing. I thought, I'm not at the place where I can do this. And you would rather have that than someone that's actually faking a relationship with you. And people do it all the time. Men have done it a lot. And why do they fake relationships? The same reason why we do, because it's easier and you're making life easy for them. A lot of times, women, we are so intuitive, you guys. If you're feeling a bit of a disconnect there, it's because there is a disconnect. And it doesn't, and also to share around that, it doesn't need to be, comfortable 1,000% of the time. And we get to have time, women process getting into relationships differently than men do. So men go through different spaces in time. In the beginning, it's the exploratory phase. I really like you. I might be checking out a couple other people. That's where you get to be doing the same. Some men don't do that. And that's the time where you start to figure out, if things were to move forward, are we on the same page? Great. And sometimes, just like you, he may not be aware that he doesn't have the capacity. His actions will speak for that. Now, this is not about perfection, because something that I'm feeling called to share with you guys right now is, how many times has a man said, okay, I'm going to call you at 5, and he calls you at 5:30, or he calls you at 6, or he doesn't call? What do you make that mean? Or do you get upset? Oh, he didn't call me. How many times have you had a girlfriend say, hey, I'm going to call you tonight at 5, or, I really want to catch up and chat, or, whatever, let's make plans. And they didn't call. You might be thinking, oh, she got busy and you got busy too, or maybe you called her. The thing is, in early courtship especially, you do want to let him lead. And I'm not a proponent for calling men. Part of the reason for that is because they may or may not be in a place where they want to talk. That's why you're not taking a lot of chances when he's calling you, because he's ready to talk. Men typically don't want to talk on the phone as much as women do. And, with girlfriends, we might call each other, or, take care of things via phone or connect. But if you're feeling in a place where you're dating someone, or you're in a relationship and it's getting stagnant, you might want to lean back a bit and see how he starts to show up, because we can make it too easy for someone to not do the work. And men are hunters by nature. And as women, if you're a woman in business, or you have a career, many of the clients that I work with, they're very driven, and many of them have high-powered careers. So they're used to hunting, they're used to doing, but you actually want what a lot of women say, well, I want an alpha male. And I'm going to talk about this more later. What is an alpha male really? And is that what you really want? Because when you think about somebody who has a capacity to show up, an alpha male classically may be trying to control. Maybe you guys think, gosh, it'd be so nice of a man to control, if he planned the dinners, if he did that. That's not necessarily an alpha male. So I'll get into that more later. Anyway, you guys, I hope this helps when it comes to capacity. Take some time. Take your time to get to know someone. And don't take it personally, as if he, doesn't show up, or he's backpedaling, or give it time and space to see if, sorry, I got a baby in here. Not my baby. But give him time and space to see if he shows up, because you'll be able to see it. Okay, I don't know if this guy has the capacity. That's why I continue dating people, especially in the beginning. And you might be going, well, the guy really just wants to get to know me. Tough. Open yourself up. Say, hey, it takes me a little bit of time to get to know someone. I like the direction this is going. And I could see that. However, I feel like I like to walk before I run. I like to actually get to know someone as a friend to see if we're really going to be compatible and if we have the capacity to go into the places that I want to go, because I like to go deep and I want to feel connected in a partnership because that's what I value. So when you know yourself, you know what you value, and you start to explain that to a man, the wrong men are going to be like, all right, see you later. This is too much work for me. I'm barking up the wrong tree. I really just want something that they classify as simple. And, you know, I have men that reach out to me and say things like, I don't understand. She, you know, broke up with me or doesn't seem to want this. Well, there's typically something more going on there. It's the same thing with a man when he's not fully showing up. There's something going on there, and it's not that I don't trust you. It shouldn't be about that. There's something happening in their life, and it could be a billion things. It could be they have, you know, they found out their mom has cancer. They're, you know, they found out that they need to actually take custody of their child. There's a lot of other stressors rather than you. And I think a lot of times we lose sight of that when we want what we want. So I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope this is helpful. My 5-year-old just got home from school. I'm going to give him a hug and a kiss before I hop on client calls. I hope this helps. I would love to hear your comments. Please share this with someone that needs this today. Capacity is such a big thing. I know I've been in a space where I haven't had the capacity to really create what I knew in my heart I really wanted and desired and deserved too. So this is just as much about you and that other person. Please don't personalize this and get more attracted to someone because they're not where you are. You get to not be afraid to walk away from something that's not, that doesn't have the capacity for what you have. It could later on, but don't hold on to that. Continue moving on with your life and trust that as you keep moving forward, that your partnership's going to come in quickly the clearer you are. All right, have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you all tomorrow.